You're at Camp Stack with the Miller Clan. Number 10, your child is crying because the 5 swings are occupied. Number 9, at dinner time, the back 20% of the cafeteria is being saved by 27 Dixie cups. Number 8, the waiting time for using an outlet to blow dry your hair in the women's restroom exceeds 1 hour. And number 7, you waited and waited in line as multiple plates and servings were dished out to one person, then another, and another, wondering, wow, they must really love Camp Stack cooking. And number 6, you told your wife, next year we're buying earplugs and eating outside for dinner. Number 5, you watched as a bearded man herded 6 to 10 small children around camp to the river and through the woods. Number 4, you won $100 on the pregnant or not pregnant tour. With 4 to 1 odds. Number 3, you enjoy a steady supply of power because they are no longer allowed to illegally hijack electricity by using adapters on cabin light bulbs. And number 2, you ask yourself, are they Catholic or Mormon? And number 1 reason you know you were at Camp Stack with the Miller Clan, you lost count and gave up trying to figure out which kid belongs to who. In an effort to eliminate the confusion and clear up any misconceptions, here is the Miller Clan history in 2 minutes. As a young girl, Linda grew up playing on Camp Stack Rock and hiking the Lovers League. At the age of 18, Linda met Jim on a blind date, and 3 weeks later, Jim proposed. And Linda's mom threw up. 1 year later, on July 17, 1971, they were married. 2 years later, Ryan, their firstborn son, was born. And just 2 years later, Brandon was born. And soon after, Jim and Linda, believing that happiness happens at Camp Stack, began to vacation there again. In 1978, Tara, their first daughter, was born. And then 2 years later, Bridget joined the Miller Clan. After many good times at Camp Stack with just the 6 of them, now time warped to 1992. Jim, playing matchmaker, set up Brian with his Latina secretary on a hot blind date. 2 years later, they were married. Now they have 4 children, Riley, Luke, Jace, and Macy. Tired of being fruitful and multiplying, Ryan, in a very un-Miller-like move, snipped it. Brandon, an ardent thrill seeker, found his greatest thrill in dating Anna Lynn for 2 years in high school, until they finally tied the knot in 1993. Shortly after, Bailey was born. And believing that if you do something very well, we all know what that is, do it a lot. Leading to the obvious births of Lance, Sierra, Michaela, Madeline, David, and yes, lucky number 7 is in the oven. Obviously, unlike Ryan, Brandon, in a Miller-esque kind of way, refuses to snip it. Tara, after a long streak of loser boyfriends, met her knight in shining armor, Timothy, her junior year in high school. They began dating in 1995 and were married on July 24th, 1999. Tara and Timothy tried to conceive literally everywhere in Camp Sacramento, until finally Mariah was born 5 years later. Amar, Kayla, and Savannah, our latest addition, quickly followed. Bridget went out on a date with Dane 11 years ago in high school. However, their lives took separate paths for many years, but long enough for the 2 of them to grow into the perfect match. Friendship blossomed into romance, and Bridget married Dane on July 11, 2009. Instantly, Dane and Bridget had 3 kids, Ariana, Ariel, and John Brannon, with the hopes to have 2 more. Don't worry, he's not crazy, just crazy in love. Dane, come on, Dane, where are you? You're not up here. four kids that turn into 17 and a half grandkids, and who knows how many great-grandkids will enjoy summers at Camp Sac. For over 30 years, Camp Sacramento has been witness to Jim and Linda's desire to build a big, healthy family. And while the verdict is out on the healthy part, we know this. We love each other unconditionally, and well, the big part, you can see for yourselves.
Come here, girl. Keep going. I can't do both. Don't. Give it to me.